Your meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. There's always a little bit of a lag, and it's funny. I mean, even some people that I really look up to in the space who get, thousands and thousands of views, even for them on the first, you know, 30 seconds of their live stream, they're like, wait, who's this? Is the microphone on? So here we are. Welcome to another Next Level pop-up coming to you live, Facebook. I'm joined by my lifelong pal and really pretty much coolest man in the world, Nadir Price. And I actually kind of cut you off. You were going to say something there. What's up,
Oh, no,
Nadir?
no, I was, what up, Facebook? It's kind of like, I'm glad to be here right now.
Happy to be here. What's that? Is that a Ram Dass? Who says happy to be here?
I think that was Ram Dass, happy to be here
Or
or
is that Mod
something.
Sun? Is that Mod Sun?
Not really. I think Machin has a song that goes "Happy Baby" or something like that.
He does have
Actually, he has
happy
a
baby.
tattoo. He has a
He's
tattoo
a
on his stomach. Happy to be
that's
here.
it. Happy to
Yeah,
be here. Yeah. That's what I thought.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
like that
sending.
song.
Make sure I get the live link over to Nikki and to the boys. Where they at?
Oh, nice.
Anyways, yeah. Well, Mod Sun, I remember he's a very interesting character and definitely someone in regards to having a positive outlook on life. I would recommend listening to some of his stuff. He had like a poem or something that he turned into an album, right? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Did you ever listen to that?
Yeah, he had like it was like a four-piece he did. It was from a book that he wrote. I think it's called "Did I Ever Wake Up?" And
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's still on Spotify, but pretty much what occurred was he was going through a hard time and he had a dream, and like he wanted to become a musician, and pretty much he did some psychedelics. I think it was mushrooms or something, and he had these revelations, and he just followed through. He just did what he just followed his revelation, and he just made a career out of it, and he's he's up there, I guess. He's not like a super famous or super popular artist, but I think he
I
has
mean,
like a good core of fan base, and he's true to himself.
I
He's
think
making
people
a, he's having fun, so he's good.
he's having fun for sure. And yeah, I think people know who he is. Let me see if I can find I want to say he's, not to say that followers are everything, but he's definitely over a million. Oh no,
Oh,
he's half million on
uh-huh.
on Instagram. So
Oh,
did I ever wake up? That was a good I listened to that and I want to find it and just put it in the like in the comments. Did I ever wake up, Mod Sun? I don't remember all the details, but I remember it's very
yeah.
inspirational.
I
It's only
know
10.
it wasn't like fine because I was searching for on YouTube, but I guess because I'm here in Belize, I couldn't find it. But it should be on Spotify. The last time I listened to it was on Spotify,
When you're
but
in the
I'm
States.
not too sure that one was up there. I was actually looking for it like a few months ago, and I just couldn't find it. I
I
guess I
found it.
gotta use like a VPN and go
I
on
found it. I found
Spotify.
it.
And nice.
Who who recommended it to us? Because I remember you said you got it from someone. I think you got it from you said like Scheumann or Poppy Seed, right?
Mm, I think I get it from Johnny. Yes, Johnny and Ray. Because I was just bumping to his music, and I thought, I like his music. And when I think I shared it with Ray, and Ray was listening to his music. Then I met up with them, and we were driving somewhere, and Johnny was like, "Yo, bro, have you listened to this?" And he just put it on. I was like, "Oh man, like it was dope."
I just tagged him in it. Actually, I don't know if you can. I forgot to tag you in this. Let me see if I can put you in here.
Yeah, no
Because
worries.
I don't know if you saw it. Did you see last time we did this? There was people commenting for you.
Yes, I think I saw
They
like
were, they were chanting your name. No, dear, no, dear.
it's kind of fun.
I got to find the Belizean flag emoji and put it in here. Hold on, let's see if I got it. So, but you've been off. You said you've been offline for a
Yes.
little while. So tell us about taking a step back from technology, why you did it, what you're learning. Definitely, it's a time where I think people are more plugged in than ever. I can definitely say that for myself, and just want to know,
Right, right.
what your thoughts on it are.
Um, so pretty much the last time I was live, I was online was when I was here with you guys, with you and Justin, which was a week ago, and that was the last night I think, and I just completely been offline because I've been working on some projects, some videos, and a website, some photos, and stuff like that. And I've been kind of like dragging some projects for a little bit longer than usual, and I was like, yo, like I want to get things done, and I just kind of like, what, let me just make a sacrifice and just go offline. Let me just kind of like get into my routine, like wake up, work out, read something, get to work with the videos and the editing that I'm doing right now. So it was like, it was very important for me to do. So this is the first time I'm coming back online right now on Facebook because this is streaming live, right?
Nadir is a celebrity,
So,
guys. We
but
only time he goes online is the only time he goes online is when he does the next level pop-ups. You got to catch him while he's hot. Ask questions
I don't
away. I
know.
see we've got some people. Oh, you know what I heard, by the way? Sorry, I want to keep hearing your story on this too, Nadir. But before I forget, if you're watching us live, please comment right now. Comment #live if you're joining us here live. Love to give you a shout out. And then if you're watching us on the replay, give us a #replay. I heard the other day that using those hashtags on this type of feed really help boost the viewership. Not to say viewership is everything, but it's always cool to see that number go up. So yeah, if you're with Nadir and I here live, please drop us a #live. We want to see that you're with us. And then if you're on the replay, drop us a #replay. We'll give you some comments in response. So back to it, Nadir. Yeah, what's life unplugged been like? You were telling us a little bit.
Pretty much I've been productive, and the main reason I just want to like discipline myself because I noticed like a lot of times like my mind, like I'm not like too mentally strong sometimes, whether it's to begin a project or to finish a project. A lot of times I'm just there because I know exactly what I got to do, right? So like if I know exactly how I got to edit something or what I'm working on, I can already envision the finished product. But by me knowing that, I would just procrastinate. I would just leave it there because like of course I got it like, and like without me really having much control, I would just go online, watch YouTube videos, go on Instagram and just keep on, like scrolling on Instagram. So I was like, man, I really gotta discipline myself. So I was like, you know what? Let me go offline. Let me work on this. Let me be productive. Like I just have an urgency to get things done. I just want to stop dragging my feet on a lot of these things. So that was kind of like the main purpose to discipline myself.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's fun to see you diving into the fitness because I know that was one area that I don't know. It just seems like you've fallen in love with it now, and you can tell that it's making a good impact on the life of Nadie. And before I forget, we actually probably should talk a little bit about what the heck we're wearing right now. I know I had this on earlier, just just rocking. Nikki got this for me
So,
for Christmas. Thanks, Nick. It's
all
made in
right.
Belgium. It's by the artist Stromae. Are you familiar with Stromae?
Honestly,
You
no.
probably heard
Is it like,
Papa Ute, Papa Ute. Ute, Papa
oh,
Ute,
dope.
Papa Ute. He
Yeah,
designs
he's
this.
an artist.
Oh yeah, he's pretty much shifted completely
And,
from like music to like designer. Like, what's that?
oh yeah, yeah. I was wondering if he was a musician.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a link in the comments so we can check it out later. But anyways, yours also comes from overseas, from across the Atlantic. You got to tell us how you got
Mine,
that.
mine comes from Ghana, pretty much. I think I got this. Alex bought this for me. Alex went and he took a trip. Our very good friend Alex Kubarov. He
I'm
took
trying
a
to
trip
tag him
over
right
to
now. There we go.
nice. He went to Ghana and he spent a few days over there and he purchased this for me and he brought it. And when I said, I was like, oh bro, like honestly, this right here is my most favorite attire that I have. If it was up to me, I would be wearing these every single day.
Yeah, it's
Like
seriously,
every single.
it's
I
sick.
wish I would have like the connect to get like 12 of these like different colors, and because the design this right here, it's not like the regular average one. It's kind of like the designs are quite intricate and so unique. I don't know if you could probably see the back of it or.
Yeah, I hope Alex can hop on the he doesn't have to hop on the live feed, but I just dropped him a comment. If he could say, Alex, if you're listening to this, like, let us know. Do
I
you
really
remember where you I'd say, like, let us know where you were when you bought it. Like, were you at like a little like side of the road shop? And you're like, oh, I'm gonna get that for Nadir. Or were you like in the king's castle and got it from like a Ghana royalty? Um, I'm just imagining Alex in Ghana. It would have been freaking
here's the thing,
hilarious.
man. For me, like
Or go
right.
ahead.
For me, like the thing knowing that this came all the way from Ghana and it was made original by these people, it wasn't like mass produced, you know, it wasn't like run off the mill type thing, you know, it was like it's unique because I went online and I saw how these people make it and every single one is uniquely made. So like when I got I was like, yo, like this is something special. Like people actually put their hands in this thing, you know, it wasn't like just going through a machine, you know, like people there was emotions involved while making this thing. So like my favorite piece of cloth I own, like hands down. I don't care. I don't know, like I wouldn't compare anything like of high luxury. Not even that would compare to this thing right here, you know. So it's kind of like a big thing for me, you know. But
Yeah, nice. I'm
that's how
cracking
I
up because
own.
just J Money just commented. He said, "Hey, I'm sleeping." Is that coming through? Can you hear me? Are you coming through? Can you hear? It's coming through slow. Nadie, can you hear me? Check, 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 check,
Yeah,
check.
yeah. I mean, I could hear, but I can't. Yeah, my connection just kind of went off. I'm
Okay.
not sure what's up with that.
I'm
But
real
I
quick. I'm
got
gonna
you though.
post a video for Stromae. This is the person that designed what the heck I'm wearing. But sorry, continue, Nadie.
No. I was just saying that my connection kind of fell off right there. It just kind of goes off sometimes, you know.
Yep.
It
So
looks like a little bit laggy, but you know,
I,
it's
I,
working.
yeah, it's working, and I think by the time we what's the word I'm looking for? By the time we go back and listen to this or watch this, I'm pretty sure that the technology kind of helps render it and eliminate like the gaps. Not saying it makes it perfect, but I have noticed that coming through live sometimes a little choppy. But then when you go back and you watch the replay, Zoom or Facebook or whoever's spying on us does a good job making it a little bit more smooth. So, well, I'm trying to remember. We hit record maybe 20 minutes ago. I'll have to figure out how to track that because I know there we go. Oh, 12 minutes ago. All right, cool. So we're going to go for like another 20-ish. I think you made a good observation. The last one we did, where we were live for an hour and a half. And if you look back on it, it got some good action. And mainly you, me, and
Yeah.
Justin got to catch up and document a bunch of memories that were classic. I went back and I was cracking up at the story of you guys going to get Paul from Dulles, and then you found out you had to go to Reagan, and you were like, yes. I was dying.
Right.
uh,
I was excited. And truthfully, I think I don't know what it was, but I think that day like I was at home all day. So when we decided to drive, when we had to go all the way to Reagan, I was like, you know what, pretty dope. I've been inside all day, so like let me just make the best of this time. So it was dope. I liked it.
I want to talk about some more memories and some more stories. I'm trying to think of like from the days when I was in Belize. Oh, you know what? This one hit me the other day because last night we were talking. Nick and I were talking about hurricanes, and I remember that hurricane that smacked Belize not long ago. By the way, is Bird's Isle back, or did it like what? Where's everyone playing hoops in the city?
I know
Civic.
Bergdial is back. Civic is back. There's
I know
another
Civic. I've seen.
court. I'm not
We
sure
saw
what the name
Civic.
of it.
We were watching Civic for the championships. Remember? I don't want to say anyone's.
Right.
We were cracking up in Fairfax. Or, anyways, yeah. It
Yeah,
was
I
in Falls Church. We
remember.
were watching
But
Devin Daly.
I think it was. It was.
Speaking of Devin,
But
let
yes,
me see if I can shout him out. See if he's on here. I know he's a big
gotcha.
Nadine fan. Maybe I'm not connected with him. It's Devin Daly, right?
I believe so.
Gotta find him. Anyway, sorry. Continue as I look for him.
I was just saying, like it was interesting. But they have like a few different spots in the city. I know Bergel is back, and Bergel, I don't know, like the regular courts, I guess.
How's
But
how's
honestly, I'm not even
Hilltop?
sure. Sorry.
How's Hilltop?
Oh, Hilltop. I haven't been to Belmopan in a very long time, but I think, well, Hilltop, they covered the court. I think they put glass backboards, and I do believe people are attending it. People go by and people shoot some hoops out there. So I guess the sports infrastructure, I mean, the basketball infrastructure is coming along pretty good. You know,
Are they
pretty,
gonna
pretty
have
decent.
NEBL this year?
Nope. I think NEBL should be starting in February. I'm not entirely sure, but as how things are in the country right now with all the regulations and like limited amounts of people could gather, I don't think that they'll be having an EBL. But
Gotcha. Real quick, I'm gonna tag him now. So, quick shout out, Devin. If I just tagged you, so I think it brings you in right here. But we were just talking about when Nadir was living in the Washington D.C. area with me. We were watching you play at the Civic for the NEBL championship. Devin Daly to the rack takes the team to the championship. He's a man.
I'm pretty sure, did they win? I don't remember. I don't
Wait, hold on. You came through a little choppy there. What'd you say?
know.
No, I don't know if you just said this. Somebody like tackled him in that
Yo,
championship game. You remember that? We were cracking up at that. Me and Pally,
yo,
like, Devin, you probably know what I'm talking about. Someone tackled you
yeah.
like 2 or 3 years ago in the NEBL championship. Um, so what else? Were you saying something else, Nadie? It came through a little
No,
choppy.
honestly, no. My connection kind of logged off for a little bit. They were just went choppy. Pepsi, huh? Yo, I gotta ask you a question. Can you tell the difference between a Pepsi and a Coke?
Absolutely. And
For real?
I'll be the first one to
All
tell you,
right.
like,
Before you answer,
you'll never like.
uh-huh.
It's very rare that I'm drinking this. The only reason that I have it is because like it's like leftovers. It's the best way I can put it.
Oh, cool. Because I've heard a lot of people say there's a difference, and some people prefer the Pepsi over the Coke. Some people actually say that the Pepsi is sweeter than the Coke. And I've seen a lot of Americans, I wouldn't say Americans, a lot of foreigners come to Belize and they drink the Coke and they say like the Coke here in Belize, it's more sweet than the ones that they have. And the reason they say that is because here in Belize they use like the sugar cane sugar, while in America and these other countries they just use corn syrup. I'm not entirely sure. I've never really done research. Just interesting to me. I don't drink sodas, so like just I can't tell the difference because I don't drink it.
Yeah,
So
there's some theory that Mexican Coke is the best Coke because it's not corn syrup, it's like real sugar. And I think Belize they get, or you get however you want to say it, um,
correct.
Coke from Mexico, not the U.S. Coke. And I think you could tell the difference between a U.S. Coke and a Belize Coke or a Mexican Coke, and then you could definitely tell the difference between Pepsi and Coke. And in my opinion, I'm definitely a Coca-Cola preferred guy. I think that Pepsi is too sweet. Now, if my only option is Pepsi, I'll take it. But yeah, bro, I remember specifically one time in Belize. Actually, I can't remember exactly where I was going. Oh, I was going to coach when we were doing Belmopan Active Youth, and I
Yeah,
left the Galen branch in Belmopan, and there was a little Chinese man shop right next door.
yeah.
Uh, you know which one I'm talking about? It's like the closest one to the Galen on the Belmopan branch.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the little
Yeah,
restaurant, the little Chinese restaurant.
right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. And I just remember going in there and I got a Coke and a bag of plantain chips. And it was not the first time that I've ever done that combination, but that was that moment. I'm like, man, this is my go-to. Love a little bottle of Coke, some plantain chips. Gonna eat this and drink it on the way to High Top, which or Hilltop, which what's the name? What's the actual name of Hilltop? Because that's the nickname for it. What they
That's
call
it.
Hilltop?
I have no idea what's the name of that court. I just know people call it Hilltop, you know.
It had another name though. We never really called
Honestly,
it Hilltop.
I
What's,
never, I just never
what,
saw a name, you know. I don't remember. I never saw a name. I never saw a sign or anything. Oh, Big Court.
Big Court. There we
That's what
go.
it used
I was like,
to call
we
it,
gotta
Big Court.
we gotta call in the experts here. I just tagged Chrissy. I'm like, I know Chrissy will know. Uh, yeah, Big Court or Hilltop. That's what it was. But people aren't using that as much anymore. I thought I just saw Chrissy working out there with his crew the other day.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
but
use it.
You're not in Belmopan. That's
Oh,
right.
no, 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 no. Yeah, so I've been down here for like 5 months now, I think. It's, you know, it's been a
Yeah.
while. But
Well,
yeah,
I hope.
interesting, you know.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Interesting conversation. Just interesting that people make a difference between Coke and Pepsi, and how some people prefer either one of them over the other one. You know, just interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be the first one to tell you probably shouldn't drink either. And actually, recently, been really good about just I, from January 4th through the 14th, actually the 15th, I only drank water, and that was
Oh,
good.
nice.
It was a good challenge. And then once you make it past the first like 3 days, I feel like with anything like that, it's like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. Now, I had some coffee today. I had some Pepsi today because it was like again, it was like the last can, and just wanted some bubbles. You know, throwing it, I guess I'm making excuses right now, but that's
Yeah,
why. But no, recently definitely been drinking a lot more water, and you can just sounds simple, guys, but you can just tell the difference once you start doing it. It's pretty
all
powerful.
right.
Interesting how far water can take you. You don't really need all this other stuff.
Yeah, I've only been drinking water and teas. That's kind of like water, teas, and natural juices. That's kind of like what I've been drinking for years, I guess. But for me, it's just kind of like normal. It's just kind of like that's a norm for me. It's not like it's not like a change, you know. So it doesn't feel different. It just feels normal. But whenever I would drink like any carbonated drinks, like I feel different. I don't really like it. Like sometimes I'm like burping, and when I burp, I feel the taste comes back out, and sometimes I find it kind of like bitterish aftertaste in my mouth. So I never really got used to it, you know. But so
You're honestly you're very blessed to have the natural juices. I forgot about that.
yeah,
That's definitely one thing that here definitely. I mean, actually, I did have some natural juice the other day, but it's because somebody who was making Jamaican food like gave that as an option that you could get natural juice. The last time I had it, I was like, man, I must have been in Mexico or Belize. You don't have to get that like Tropicana. Like you can actually get like, so yeah, natural juice. That's a good option. I would stick
yeah,
with that if I were you.
but yeah.
So
It's
I hit up Scheumann. He might be joining us.
uh,
I don't think he will. I guess we'll give a moment to talk about uh, Spotify group listening. If anyone hasn't played around with this feature yet, Spotify, they're testing it in the beta phase right now. So I'm sure it's going to expand, honestly. And it's crazy to me that you still don't have Spotify in Belize. I don't get that. What I like
right.
actually what and the reason why I'm talking about this because we're going to be doing a group listening session later tonight. But what do people use to listen to music in Belize? Like, what's the main thing? Because I feel like here it's either Apple Music or Spotify, or maybe Google Play. YouTube can be, but I find this is just my personal opinion. Unless you have YouTube Premium or YouTube Music, if
Yeah,
your main source of listening to music is only through YouTube, then you probably don't love music enough. It's my opinion because you have to like get through the ads. You have to keep your phone open. Like it ain't worth it. Yeah. So anyway,
I think a lot of people listen to music on Apple Music. Um, I know I don't know if people actually listen to SoundCloud, but I listen to SoundCloud and I listen to,
SoundCloud. That's right.
I listen to YouTube as well. You know, I just kind of like have like I just put some songs in loop, or I just kind of like have like different little playlists. I think YouTube even makes playlists for you after hearing you listening to the same songs over and over. But
They
of
do.
course, ads are a problem. But it's not a problem. I mean, ultimately, it's free. I'm not paying for it, so I don't really care much. And I was like, oh, I'll just skip it, or if I can't skip it because I'm doing something, I just leave it, let it
Like,
go. I don't. Now here's the thing. Here in Belize, we don't get as much ads that you guys up there in the States. And you guys
okay.
get a lot of ads. Whenever I would go up to the States, like there would be like tons of ads. I'm like, bro, for real, like ad after ad after ad, like, is it, bro? But Spotify still not available in Belize. So
You just
I'm sure
reminded me.
people are
Here,
using
go ahead.
VPNs and they're bypassing that feature. So it might work for
Yeah.
some.
Yeah, the VPNs do work. You're right. Because actually, I used to use one when I was in Belize to listen to Spotify and for Netflix.
Nice.
So but on this topic, I have to tag him now, my buddy Austin Linney. Austin, I hope you're catching this.
Okay.
He loves sending me. Well, not. He's probably sent me in the past month like 4 or 5 different YouTube clips to music,
That's sweet.
and I'm going back to what I'm saying. Like anyone who sends me a song to listen to via YouTube, I love you. Thank you for sending me the music, but please do not send me a YouTube link to listen to a song because that means I have to like you can't sorry, I guess it makes it sound like I'm like first world problems, right? But like you have to like click on it and you have to listen to the song. If you were like sending an email, if you were sending a text, like if you were doing anything else, you can't do it. You just got to stare there and listen to the song. It's like, bro, I don't want to do this right now. But if you send me the Spotify link, then I can listen to it while I was doing what I was doing, and I can even text you back as I'm listening to the song you sent me. Just my 2 cents. Austin, what's up, man?
I mean, not really a big deal, but I see what you're saying. I
Yeah, that's definitely
guess a lot
first
of times you
first
can
world,
just
first
like,
world problem.
right, you could just put it on the computer, just open a new tab and just play it there, and But of
That's true.
course,
But
you're
what
not
if
on
somebody
your
texted
computer.
it to you though? Someone texted it to you, then you got to copy it and email
Yeah.
it to yourself, and then open it on the computer.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, that's you just figured out the key though, Nadir. That's what it is. If you want me to check out a song and you're gonna send me a YouTube link, email it to me so that I can pull it up in a tab. I'm doing
Right. I
something.
mean, you email me most stuff. I mean, you always email me stuff because I don't have like a phone, so that's kind of like the only way. Interesting.
So I'm checking up this. Let me update update the scoreboard, unless that's accurate. It can't be. I'm gonna give anyone who's tuned in to the AFC Championship. Wow, there's still that much time left. Well, you know what? We started right around halftime. So there's
Oh,
10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Buffalo's down 12-24 versus Kansas City.
is
I
is
won't
this is
say.
this?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering if this was kind of like some championship or just kind of like finals or what is it?
Yep. Yeah. This is a big one. Whoever wins this, whoever wins this one goes to the Super Bowl. So
Oh, nice.
the storyline is Buffalo hasn't been to the Super Bowl since I want to say 1993, and
Right.
the sad
Is it
song
over?
story, huh?
That's over 25 years, so it's kind of like it's been a while.
I'm gonna yeah. So the sad song story for Buffalo, and if there's any Bills fans listening or watching right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in 1989, no, wait, 1990, 1991, 1992, and 1993, 4 years in a row, they went to the Super Bowl and lost every single time, and they've never won a Super Bowl. So this is the closest they've ever been in their franchise history. Kansas
Wow.
City, Kansas City won the Super Bowl last year. Now, before last year, I don't remember the last time the Chiefs won. I think they maybe have won one before that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, any Kansas City fans. The cool thing about the Chiefs, well, their whole team is pretty sick, but their quarterback is a guy named Patrick Mahomes. His hair kind of looks like yours, but a little bit lighter. His skin kind of looks like mine. Team light skin. Anyways, Patrick Mahomes is like one of the many quarterbacks in the NFL now that is just doing things that have like never been seen before. I'll compare what he's doing to remember when Steph Curry just came out of nowhere and was just hitting threes from like half court. Like no one had ever seen that before.
Right.
And Patrick Mahomes is like that for the NFL. Like his ability to just do like crazy things that people have never seen a quarterback do before, whether it's run or if he's a righty, I think, but sometimes like when he's in a tough situation, throw a perfect pass with his left hand or like behind the just
Right.
crazy. So he's like, I'd say probably top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL as far as like who's getting all the sponsorships for the next 10 years. Um, so on this side, that's the storyline. Now, I would say most of the country or whoever's paying attention to the NFL right now, pretty much everyone wants Buffalo to win for the reason that I just told you, and
Right.
because the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year, so it's like I don't know. For me, I always like rooting for the team that everyone hates the most, so I'm actually rooting for the Chiefs. but no, and this is the other thing for me too here. Okay, so there's very few teams in the NFL that have sucked for as long as Buffalo has, besides Buffalo. Maybe 2 or 3 teams. And
Uh-huh.
unfortunately, two of those 3 teams, or one of those teams, is the Cleveland Browns. We have been terrible. And people forget that the Browns were actually really good. And then they left Cleveland in the mid 90s. And that same team that left Cleveland went to Baltimore and later went on to win 2 Super Bowls. So it's kind of like that could have been us. But instead, we had to start from scratch. And ever since the Browns have started from scratch in 1999, they have been terrible, except for 1 year. Make it 2 now from this year. So it
Alright.
hurts me to see another team that's been hanging out in the bottom of the barrel with us for so long to now be getting a chance to win a title, because then that just leaves us even more at the bottom of the barrel. Like I'd rather just grab Buffalo back down and be like, hold on, let us win a Super Bowl first. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I root for the Chiefs. Sorry if you hate me for that. And then on top of that, I mean, honestly, when it gets to the Super Bowl, I know you know who Tom Brady is,
Yeah,
Nadir,
yeah.
right? Tom Brady just okay, so 7 teams make the playoffs on each side. Tom
Mhm.
Brady's team was ranked number 5 out of 7 in the playoffs, but it's Tom Brady. You get him in the playoffs, it's like it don't matter what his seed is. And so
Right.
they just made it. They just made it to the Super Bowl today, and they took down the number 1 team in the AFC to get there. And so
Wow.
now Tom Brady has the potential to win 7 rings, which is more than Michael Jordan, which is more
Yeah.
than any like I guess besides Bill Russell, any of the 3 like mainstream American sports, baseball, basketball, football, to win 7 rings, it's pretty much hasn't been done, especially now. And Tom Brady's like 42, and he's about to do it on a different team than he got all the other ones with. So I don't honestly, anyone listening right now, if you hate Tom Brady, I'm not even gonna say I'm sorry. Like you got to check yourself because you got to recognize greatness when you see it. And I'm telling you right now, that's who I want to win the Super Bowl is Tom Brady. He can next level pop up right now. Hopefully, heard it here first, but I'm sure other people are saying it too. Let's go Bucks! Woo!
Oh,
Thank you for listening, Nadie.
of course.
I know you care a lot about the NFL and sports. So
Absolutely. I
actually,
mean,
so what is your like biggest? What was your biggest sports like professional American sports memory from being in the States? Because I know you kind of went to everything, right? I don't know if you went to a football game,
I didn't go
but
to a football game, but I went to a few Cleveland games, and that was pretty cool, you know. But yeah, I went to a few Indians games, but that was cool as well. Mm, but
go Tribe. Which
yeah,
this is actually a collectible now. We definitely won't go too far down this rabbit hole, but a lot of
alright.
people in Cleveland are upset because they can't use the name Indians anymore. So
Okay, they can get more. What?
yeah, and like I have close friends and I have close friends that are like, I'm not rooting for the team anymore, is how mad they are that they changed the name. Because yeah, I mean, no one even looks at it, I think, as a Cleveland fan. Like no one views it like
All right.
it's if anything, it's just a team name. Like there's the New York Knicks. What the heck is a Nick? Like no one even really cares what the team name is. But
I think probably
anyways,
I would think probably the argument is that a lot of people don't use it, but for some reason it has like some psychological effect on the people that
right.
are Native
Yeah.
American. It's kind of
I
like,
think it's too personally speaking, I think it's too late for that. What's been done to the in
oh, of
that
course, it's been
what's
for
been
so
done has been done. We're 300 years beyond that argument. But if you know what, if people want to change it, it ain't I can't control it. So
well. Just be very careful with what you just said because I know
I
like
know.
people would hear this and be like, "Yo, like, but no, 300 years was yesterday." Blah blah blah. So it is what it is. Like that's the reason, bro. Like a lot of times I tried my best to stay away from these type of conversations because it's so polarizing. Like if for example, whether if you support somebody or if you don't support somebody, you're automatically supporting the opposition. Just kind of It's just weird, but interesting times in America. That's all I can say.
I mean, I don't know. I know you said don't go this way, but I'm gonna go this way now. It's just real quick because we talked about it on our last pop up too. Is like, yeah, I get that. There's a lot of, you could say, there's the injustices have been going on forever and ever and ever all around the world, and like
Yeah, absolutely.
we really should be, to a certain extent in North America, grateful for the service that we have in regards to law enforcement compared to other parts of the world. It ain't even close. Like what it's like we're, you know, crying over small things compared to other places. And
Absolutely.
you can be the first one to kind of say like what you've seen in Belize. And actually, I haven't even really, to be honest, I haven't seen much in Belize, but I do know that like the level of service is much lower, especially for like ambulance and stuff like that. Like you're gonna want to have you're gonna want to know someone who's well connected rather than just like rely on uh, like a government service, if that makes sense. Which it's all about being smart, but
Absolutely.
that's like my main takeaway.
I guess it's all about being smart, and I guess sometimes it's all about luck. And ultimately it's what you could afford, because if you could afford having like private healthcare, or private services like that, you'll be good because you'll be actually paying a lot for those services. But when it comes to like the ambulances and the public health care system in Belize, there's there's not really a good reputation. Like there's not. And I mean, I'd be lying to you if I'm telling you like, no, we have first class services. Like, no. Like, and it's not just us. This is like a lot of Latin American countries, just like African countries, and even so Asian countries. But but I wouldn't just say that the healthcare system is all freaked up. Like, I guess it's all about luck. They have a lot of people that love their jobs and they put a lot of effort into it, and they make sure they're super accommodating to everybody. So credit to them. But just it's just life in this part of the world, I guess. The perks of being here.
Did I ever send you that clip of Lil Wayne on First Take with like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith? I'll have to send it
Honestly,
to
no, I don't think I.
you. I
No.
just remembered it. It was like, back when Corona first hit and like America was as divided as you could possibly make it. And they brought Lil Wayne on to like talk about it. And he was like, Skip, to be honest, I don't think you want to hear my opinion because it's not what they want to hear. And they kind of got him to open up a little bit. And Skip was like, what do you have to say about, you were talking about a concert that you did in, some suburb in Illinois, and you look out and it's, all, 95% white people in the crowd or whatever, singing along, singing your songs. He's like, to be honest, I thought that was a sign that racism was over. Just
Right.
like they didn't know what to say to him after he said that. And then he goes on. He's like, all I care about. He's like, I care about my nation, my people, my daughter, my family. Like that's my nation. I'm like, man,
Absolutely.
you go, Weezy.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Like, I think it's very important to care about your immediate, just your immediate circle, your immediate surroundings, your family, your friends, and just but at the same time, because honestly, like at the same time, I wouldn't judge other people that have been going through experiencing different things, like experiencing racism, like, because truthfully, um, bro, even recently I had like this revelation, right? I went for a run, right? And I've come to realize that the way I look has had an impact on my experience here in this country. Just the way I look, you know, I look Hispanic, I my hair is, like I look a little, ambiguous, racially ambiguous, and I've come to realize that a lot of people treat me in a certain way, like, different from most people. I wouldn't say most people, but they just treat me kind of different, especially when I'm in a new place, because I think in they can't really figure out what is my ethnicity, because they would just be there and they would just kind of like be thinking, like, oh, is he a foreigner, like, and they would treat me like a foreigner or something. So my experience has been a little bit different, while I know like a lot of people like, for example, a black person, like I consider myself black,
You
and
are technically
pretty
right.
much, yeah.
You got a
But
quarter.
right, but like people that are more, like more, physically, like really melanated person with like really, like different hair, like real Afro hair, Afrocentric looking.
Hmm.
Like their experience in this country has been a lot different than mine, and like a lot of times I would easily be like, I could have easily been like, nah, man, like it's how you treat people, like. But no, I think there's like a societal structure, whether it's racism, whether it's prejudice against certain individuals based on how they look, how they talk, which neighborhoods they're from. I think there is a reality that I can't really speak much about. I just know it exists though. So that's kind of like the reason, like, I don't know, I just try to be as polite and empathetic with every single person. And when somebody says that, yo, there's a lot of racism or the police treated me a certain way, I won't be like, nah, man, it's just you. Because no, here, bro, the crazy thing here in Belize, I've had a lot of police interactions, and most interactions with the police with me have been pretty smooth, whether I'm in the wrong. Like a few months ago, I was testing out a scooter. It was at night, and I'm just in the middle of the highway, just doing donuts. Me and my friend, right? We're just having a blast, and then all of a sudden, like I see some headlights just turn on, and I was like, "Oh, all right." Like, so car, and I move over, and when I moved over to the side of the road, the 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 police lights turned on. I was like, "Bro," I was like, "Man, it's done. Like, this is it." I told my friend, "Yo, it's over." I didn't have my license or anything, and it was a police cruiser, the car, the cop car, and they stopped. They began asking me questions, and I was like, "Hey, officer, like, I'm very sorry for what I did. Like, I was just testing the bike. I just fixed the bike. Like, I'm really, really sorry. And I apologized to the police officer, and I was like, man, like, the police officer, his interaction with me was different though, and he didn't get off the car. He didn't ask me for my name or anything. He didn't even ask me for my license. But I straight up told him like, yo, yes, we both have license. I have license for bikes. Like, we're good, officer. And they just let me go. And I was like, yo, like, thank you very much, officer. I greatly appreciate it. You guys have a good night. And that was it. But I've realized most of my experiences with police have been kind of like that. Like, I'm able to talk my way out of it. While other people I've seen on YouTube and on Facebook videos here in Belize, like the police, they don't want to hear anything just because you look a certain way or you're from this neighborhood. Like, I'm coming for you. Like, there's nothing you could do. Like, so so just to say, I wouldn't want to judge somebody, or I wouldn't want to like judge somebody's experience because I haven't experienced it. My experience is completely different from most people's experiences. Hey, Ray, what up, bro?
Yo,
I mean, you polish off your screen there, boy. You got a little dust on it.
a little crusty. Hold
Yeah,
on a
yeah.
second.
There you go.
I'm reading this book right now. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this book. It's called White Fragility.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, um, I mean, this book pretty much talks about the structural racism in America and in European countries. And it's interesting because, I mean, even the author is a white person, and the author is like, yo, like, this book is pretty much, I'm talking to white people, and I know a lot of white people won't like to hear what I got to say. But it's an interesting book. And I think even if you wouldn't really agree with the book, I'm not saying you guys, but people in general, like, it would be
I've got some
interesting.
follow-up questions for you now, boy.
Yeah, let me know.
Oh, when you're ready. You were still going.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm just saying, like, this book, like, if you guys would read this book, you would see like a different perspective. But this book, I kind of think it could be politicized, like a little extreme on the liberal side. So just interesting, interesting.
So, yeah, in regards to that, I mean, it's interesting. It's probably worth looking into. I think that it's just like, I don't know. There's so many things in place now where if someone's saying that the reason why they can't be successful is how they look, then I'm not buying it. And I'm going to go with what you said, Nadir. There has not been at one point in my life have I ever walked into any room and looked just like everybody else. Whether it's all black room, all white room, all Mexican room, all Asian room, it don't matter. Like you can relate. Like you just said, it don't matter where you go. People are like, what the heck is he? So I
Absolutely.
don't know. It could be a benefit, and maybe I'm missing something here. But I just think that, especially with like in North America, in Canada, especially, there's so many like scholarships and like business like things that you can do if you want to exercise, like minority business owner or whatever. Like run out of excuses. So my heart goes out to anyone that has been victimized and they know they've been victimized. And I can't, I really can't say that I've ever been through anything like that. And I think part of it's because of my vibration. I always look for the good things. But
Yeah.
and then on top of that, I just remember, and I know you might have to dig a little bit into the dark web to find this one, Nadir, but it just fascinated me so much because I'm definitely a firm believer that what's in the history books probably ain't all the truth. We're probably missing a lot of things here. And one thing that just keeps me like so interested is like I think everything happens in life, it happens in waves and it goes back and forth. Like we're probably in this transition right now where like power is going back and forth from like east to west. I think there actually is some kind of like chart that I saw one time. It's like every 500 years, like the power from like east to west, just like a wave, like so many other things in life. But I remember talking to you one time about like I wouldn't be surprised if 3,000 years from now it's the other way around. And like for example, like black people are running the world and calling all the shots, and then white people are oppressed. And I remember you told me something in there that was like that the reason why Europe is the way it is because, and you're not going to find this in any history books, but like Europe is not as desirable as of a resourceful land as the land of Africa.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Africa is super like loaded with all kinds of resources. And so that's like the place to be. And then they got pushed out of Africa up into Europe. And that's kind of like where, white people were on the down thousands of years ago. And then, so I don't know how many, like, cause I'm sure if anyone's listening to this, they're going to want to hear your facts and like, where'd you get this? Cause it's not commonly talked about, but I definitely think the transfer of power based on even skin tone changes over thousands of years. And we're just missing it cause we're so caught up in the moment.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
what am I talking about? Help me out here. Cause I know I've heard you talk about it before. Hey, and hi everyone. Ray Sherman is here. I'm sorry, Ray, you just jumped into the fire, man. Hope you're ready.
Yeah, but I mean, pretty much I guess if we read a little bit of history, they have like a lot of YouTube videos about history as well. Like a couple of years, I won't say a couple of years ago, but there was a point in time that the world was ruled by people of color, and not just that. It's interesting because like white people, Caucasians, have been I would say like the last people to come into the scene, because there was a point in time, and this is like this scientifical, proven whatever. There was a point in time there was no white people in this planet, but I would say like up to like 3,000 years ago, like Egypt. Just look at Egypt and all the other those civilizations of that time. Like those were not white people. Those were people of color, black. I don't really know, but I know when Europeans were pushed up to the north. I mean, even Europe right now, Europe has zero resources. Europe doesn't have gold, doesn't have doesn't have diamond. They don't have like large farming resources. It's winter. It's not like a tropical country that has like a lot of resources, bananas, sugar, tobacco, whatever. So these European countries with colonization and colonizing all these other parts of the world, that's like the main reason how these European countries and European people obtain power. Like that's how they are who they are today. That was their head start. And it's not like I'm not saying it to saying that was bad.
I mean, hey, you're European too, right? Not to say that it gives you.
Right,
Yes,
right.
yes, Bryce, your blood is European. Yeah.
Right. Here's the thing. It wasn't bad for them. They did what they needed to do. Well, it was bad for other people from other parts of the world because I don't know, they probably didn't defend themselves or they weren't ready. Europeans is what they needed to do in order to survive. And I think that's natural, that's normal. I wouldn't say normal, but that's just natural. That's just like what history is, what history has taught us. Like you got to be prepared. You do what you need to do in order to be prepared instead of just, I mean, what will you do when you need to feed your children, your families, and there's you have zero resources, you have no money, you're not growing anything. What will you do? We'll just sit there and wait or beg. Like no, like at that moment, like your survival instincts kick in. At that moment, like forget all the peaceful, loving thing is that you need to do what you got to do, and I think that's what occurred with the Europeans. And I think people of color from all over the world they weren't really prepared or they weren't really used to it. And I think like African people, which they had a lot of power, they still should because they own the biggest, most resource rich continent in the world, right? But I just think they're not as unified as they should be, as compared to Europeans and Europeans all over the world. Like I think Europeans all over the world look out for each other, but for some reason, Africans and Black people, from my own observations, even here in Belize, they're not really unified. Like they don't really trust each other, I guess. But I'm just interesting, interesting observation.
Yeah, and over time changes everything, right? So that's where we're at right now. But
Absolutely, absolutely.
1,000 years
And
from now, no one's gonna even probably be thinking about this conversation, right?
right,
Uh,
right,
and then I want to give Ray some time to talk to because I know Nadir, we could
right,
probably
right.
again.
Or,
I didn't think we're
or,
gonna get caught up like this, but we are. I was talking to Nikki about this yesterday. I'm like, honestly, like think about it. At what point in society or history or whatever, at what point was somebody ever living and not thinking that in that moment that they were living in the most woke time of reality? Like as in right now. I just feel like right now we think that we are so smart and we know everything because the internet and this and that. But there's been so many other times throughout humanity that we can potentially look at where in that moment they were like, we're the smartest, we know everything. And it's funny, you look at like, I even was thinking about this. I'm like, for example, the Greek gods, like people, it's like a joke, not a joke, but people don't take like Greek mythology, maybe some do, but in general, people don't take it very seriously. But you have to think back to the time when the Greeks were like, at least who we, think they were. That was like this, it would be like compared to the religions today. It's like you believe in Zeus because like that is the truth. Like we're living like, like it wasn't like back during Greek mythology, they thought it was a joke like we think it is now. So 3,000 years from now, are people going to be looking at this time and be like, man, that in whatever they believe then, thinking that that's not a joke? It's just really, really interesting to think about that. And I'll shut up now. Schweiman,
I
or
want to say
actually,
something about that, but where you got
no, let's give Ray a couple seconds, but I do want to hear what you have to say in there.
yeah. No, yeah, you can talk as much as you want.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like it's just like a crazy time we're living in right now, especially in the States. It's just like you got the election that just happened, and then you got this whole COVID pandemic, which just, the whole year just went by like a blink, which is just crazy. But like Adam was saying too, like the internet, it's just like crazy these days. Everybody's just on the internet, and everybody thinks they know everything. Everybody's right on the internet versus like,
That's the
I
quote.
don't know, so stupid. But yeah, I mean, you can only control what you can control, and I think,
Absolutely.
like Adam said, you keep every day with that positive attitude, and good vibrations. That just carries your day, and kind of you just have to keep your mind off all the negativity going on right now. I think that's really hard to do these days,
All right.
especially like I actually was listening earlier where you talking about how you haven't been on like social media or the internet like recently. I'm kind of just taking a break, and I think that's good to stay off. It's hard to do, honestly, but I see myself doing the same thing. Honestly, just taking a break. It's like gets to you mentally. It's like, oh, too much negativity.
Right.
I heard it was Russell Brunson said the other day, I heard him quote, and I was like, dang, that's good. I got to take that one. He said, someone asked him something about politics. He said, I don't know. I don't, he said, I don't pay attention to politics. It's bad for my mental health. I was like, dang,
Yeah.
it's good. I'm going to take that one.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause at the end of the day, like how much is your life actually changing from these? I mean, from a new
You
leader
could
coming
say
in.
that it changes, right? But in reality, you're right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just, I mean, like in November, we had elections here in Belize, and it was a change of government, and that
Gotta
doesn't
turn
bother,
up that vibration, Shlomo.
it doesn't bother me, you know. Like, first of all, I didn't vote. I don't care about politics. I'm not involved in that. Like, I don't let that define my life, or I don't let that
You
define my
didn't vote. Oh my gosh.
right.
You're a bad person.
I lost my political career.
Congratulations on not being like everyone else, Nadir.
I just want to take care of me, man. I just want to do my own thing. Like, I don't care whether you're whatever your political beliefs are. Like, you do you, man. I don't have any political beliefs like that. Like, yeah, because whatever government changes or whatever happens, like, why that's not really affecting my life. I mean, unless I wanted to affect my life emotionally or in any other way, but I don't like it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I gotta take care of myself, man. Like, I mean,
Dude, you said this before we went live, and I was like, man, I hope I remember to say it. And now I did. It's a great quote. It's freedom is the power of choice or the power to choose and make your own decisions.
all right,
That's
all right,
in essence,
absolutely.
that's what freedom is. And that's what you're
Mm.
saying.
And ultimately, the thing is, like, I don't like I wouldn't vote, right? Because like that is my freedom. That is my right to not be involved in something that I don't deem something that don't share my own values. So if I don't share my values with these politicians or political parties, I just won't vote. I won't participate because I should have the freedom not to participate. That doesn't make me ignorant. That doesn't make me stupid or like I have all that right as well, you know, because I don't want to tie my name to anything, you know. For example, if there is this Hitler president, right, and I voted for this Hitler president, no, everything this Hitler president does, I co-sign for it. So if he's killing people and he's doing all kinds of dumbness, I voted for him, so I co-signed. And there's the saying that if you don't vote, you don't have any rights to complain. That doesn't make any sense
That's
because if you
you're
vote, you
right.
have
You're right.
more
I'm
rights
laughing.
than most people to complain about whatever nonsense is going on. Because if you vote, you supported those ideas and those beliefs of these individuals doing whatever they're doing, you know. That's if you vote, you co-signed it. No, you have no right to be like, you have no right to complain. That's who you voted for, you know, like but if you didn't vote, of course you have all rights because you're not tying your name, your identity, you're you're not their ownership. You're not their property, you know. So
That's so powerful.
it's
The
interesting,
identity,
you know.
the identity, because you're right. Psychologically, that is exactly how people look at it. Um, I've lived it and experienced it from voting in the past, and it's a terrible situation to put yourself in because then you start playing on teams, and once you're drawing lines in the sand and playing on teams, somebody's got to win. And then once you have a situation where somebody got to win, uh, it's tough to get out of. I'm gonna just say this too. The only thing that I can say with the new, like, if I had to say that I was excited about anything in a change of like U.S. administration, at least I can travel internationally again, and people won't like that's one stigma. Is as an American, you go anywhere, you like you just said, you get labeled as, oh, you're from there, you must support this person that I don't like, therefore I don't like you. So at least it's cool to be American again for 4 years. I'll take that. But anyways, like, go
But,
ahead.
ultimately, that's just a lot of political talking and stuff. I think the world is more beautiful. There's much more for us, for everyone to do apart from politics. There's much more to experience, so life goes on,
It's
Life
crazy to
goes
me
on.
that other countries like get so wrapped up in our like political like status of everything. It's like you don't even live in the States. Why are you worried about what's going on here? I don't know. It's crazy to
It is
me.
very interesting. You're very right about that.
Right.
It's
Very
like,
right
all
about
right, you're in Canada, it doesn't even affect you. You're in Mexico.
However, I must say that
Why are you worried about the United States? What we're doing here it doesn't affect you at all.
just
You
one thing
tell
I
the
want
fun.
to say there, just one thing I want to say there. A lot of times people do worry about what's happening here in America. Well, there in America, because America has a lot of influence over a lot of countries in the world, over Belize, like over a lot of countries. So a change of administration does mean a lot for different countries, even Belize. But
Hmm.
you know, but some people get more too caught up emotional with these political stuff. So it's interesting.
Well, I think they created the two sides for a reason, just to divide people and tear people apart. I mean, I think they should get rid of the whole Republican Democratic Party. It's just a bunch of BS.
It's funny because like the definition of a republic isn't even really what the U.S. is living in. If you look and read between the lines, but you just reminded me of something here, Nadir, and this is what we got to share. And this is an image that could not have come into existence. Sorry, I was burping from all that soda. I probably got to cut back. This image would not have been created if it wasn't for Nadir Price. And it's a message we can all take home and share with our families. It is. Oh, that ain't it. Where is it at? Are you seeing the Mario screen right now?
No, I can see.
Oh, you can see it? Oh, it is. Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. Okay, I'm sorry. That is it. Sorry for the confusion. I have two monitors up right now. So as soon as I shared that, I was looking at my desktop. You guys can see what I was trying to share, which is we are citizens of the world.
Absolutely.
Or the more we can look at life that way. This image is brought to you by Nadir Price. You can see it right there. Another dynamic design by Nadir Price. So if you would like a copy of this, let us know. We'll get you one. But yeah, that's the way we got to look at it. And then I was looking at this with Poppy Seed the other day, who I wish we could have had him here with us on the call. But we were looking at the companies in the world that have the largest market cap. And this is where you do, to back up what Nadir's saying and also tie in with what you were saying, Ray, like why do people care so much about the US, even if they're not from the US? I hear you on that. It is interesting. But you can look at this too. If you have an iPhone, no matter where you are in the world, the country that your phone is based out of is the US. If you use Microsoft, this is the number 3 country in the world. Apple's number 1. Number 2 is Saudi Aramco. Let me just share the screen here too so you guys can see this. Like, look at, these are all, US based companies. So even if you're not in America, I'm pretty sure most of these companies are going to be impacting you on a daily basis. Therefore, that might be why people care so much. But yeah, just look at that. It's crazy. US, Saudi Arabia, US, US, US. I don't know what Tencent is to be. Oh, China. Tesla, Facebook, China. Tesla, Facebook, China. It sounds funny to say it like that. China, Taiwan. There you go. So very interesting when you look at really what's going on here. But
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like one thing I have noticed a lot too with like social media and these big companies like Facebook itself. They're filtering a lot of the content that we see, which is they delete a lot of posts and they're deleting a lot of videos on YouTube and just everything overall. I mean, anything that's going to expose what's actually happening here is going to be deleted.
I hear you. I'm happy you brought that up, Sherman. My biggest take on that is like, thank God for the true spirit of freedom, because I do think the true spirit of freedom will always live on and on and on. And what I mean by that is, like, you look back at when YouTube was first created, like, well, it's hard to compare it to anything now I think about it. But basically what I'm getting at is a platform where you can be who you are, a platform where you can voice your opinion, and a place where you can go and not be held, not be judged or silenced by someone that it shouldn't be any of their business to silence you.
Yeah.
Things like that will pop up, will become popular. Now they'll get eaten up by these big companies again, so you'll have to find the next big thing. But I do think the ability to get your voice out there is possible. It's just always changing and evolving. And the people who are doing all the censoring are trying to catch up. And quite frankly, because of how fast information is moving now, I don't think they can, to be honest. I think it's in our favor right now.
Yeah, I agree. But I've even noticed that with a lot of like people that are popular or famous on YouTube. They even said themselves like we're starting to create our own platform for content just based
Exactly.
on YouTube deleting their videos for certain things. It's just like it's crazy to me. Like why can't somebody just post a video? And like freedom of speech has totally gone away. Like that's not even a thing anymore. Sad to say,
Of
but
course.
it doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes and no. I would hate to fully agree with you on that, just because that's a scary thought to agree with. But I totally get what you're saying.
In
On
a sense,
major freedom of speech on major platforms has gone down. To kind of say to back up what you're saying.
like I don't want
And
to
I
bring
think
up, but you see how like Donald
I
Trump
think
got banned from every social media possible for for just talking.
yeah.
Well, like Nadir was saying, you got to be careful who you tie yourself to, because next thing you know, everyone's gonna like. But I mean, I will agree with you and say that, you know, it don't matter who you are, if you're gonna get banned from something, like there's so many different. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I hear you, Ray, and I'll say you're right. So. Well, we're as
Yeah.
far as I know, we're still good. We might get a notification from Facebook later, but you know what? I won't say I don't care, but you know, you look at like the most, again, the people who kind of, you'll just use the US for example, who paved the way for the US, like according to, like they left Europe because they left England or whatever because they were tired of living and being treated the way they were treated. They want to go somewhere free, they can do their own thing. I'm sure that a lot of those guys who left Europe to go find a better life for themselves, for most of the people back home, those people probably thought that the ones that were leaving were crazy, and that they didn't want people who were free thinking like that to be around because they're a danger to their society. So it's not like George Washington and all these guys who founded the US were glorified on the other side of the Atlantic. In fact, they were probably somewhat already disliked a little bit, and then they went and, you know, showed them up. So
Yeah.
Stop taking me this way. I don't want to go too deep. Don't break the internet.
We'll have to have another session strictly for that talk, but or even a podcast. Who knows?
We're going live. Chrissy Enriquez, what up? The bros. I'm getting a call from the fiance. You guys take over. I'm just putting on mute real quick.
Yeah. I mean, I was just, yeah, tell me, Sean. We're just kind of, I think we've been on here for a little while, you know. I kind of I kind of had some things to do, but you know, I just don't want to, you know, just leave because he just hopped on. So what you been up to recently?
Oh man, I was in Florida last week actually. I went down. Yeah, I went to Florida for like 3 days and saw some of my family and stuff. It was cool. It was good to escape, honestly, when I was down there. It's been cold up here.
How's it traveling?
It was like normal, honestly, pretty much. The planes are actually pretty packed, surprisingly. I think everybody right now, like up here, is trying to go down south. What's that?
Where the flight's cheap? Do you have like good deals right now?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. For the weekend that I went, it was like maybe $200, something like that.
I guess a lot of people are flying, so you know.
Yeah, and it was like a holiday weekend too when I went. But it's crazy to see how like the restrictions are so much less down in Florida compared up to here as far as like masks and
I was about
like
to
restaurants
ask.
and bars. Yeah, they're open till like 2 a.m. Up here, everything closes at 10. So it's like
Newfoundland, actually, they're still open. There's one thing we got going on here. Stuff, as far as I know, stuff's still open till like 2 and 3. But you know, our argument is that there's like 2 cases on the island now. Eventually, like you're gonna have to open up the doors. Like you can't keep the doors shut up forever. I was talking to my boss about that.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, you can lock the thing out if you want, but it's not going anywhere. So,
well, I was like I was telling Nadir when I was down in Florida, I was like at a bar and just like nobody was wearing masks. Probably like 200 people in this bar. I was just like, holy smokes, I feel like a free man down here. Like, just walk around without a mask and just like nobody gives a shit. And it's just like,
Well, that's the interesting thing to me is I was
That's
talking
interesting.
to someone who
like
was
holy
uh,
smokes.
very strong on the other side of that outlook, Ray. And I was like, well, because I'm kind of like, I definitely would say I'm more leaning into the middle to not even, you shouldn't even really have to wear one in my opinion, because it's like, and this is my theory. You go to a restaurant and apparently if you're sitting down and eating, you can take it off and you're fine. But as soon as you stand up and start walking around, this thing becomes the smartest disease that ever lived. It's like, it doesn't make sense. So it's kind of like, if you
I
really
know.
think that
Right.
having that, if you think that, like, I don't know, you might as well just not go out. If you
Yeah.
want to go out, then
Yeah.
and live like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
think
I won't go. I'm trying not to go this way and taking me this way.
What happens is
I think it's interesting to see
this
like how different it is just like in a
because that's
different state, you know, like it's just like they give the freedom to certain people in the states, but they don't give the freedom to everybody. It's just like, how can you limit that? I don't know. It makes no sense to me.
that's how COVID works. You know, like if you're at a restaurant and you're eating, you could take off your mask as COVID would be like, oh, you guys are eating, you guys good, like I'll be
Yeah,
back.
sure. The
After you're done
germs aren't
eating,
coming out of my
you
mouth
gotta
at
put your
all.
mask
My mask is off, right?
on. No, COVID's no, no, guys. Like you enjoy your meal. Like I'll be back. Like just
Yeah.
enjoy your meal. Have a good one. So after you're done with your meal, you gotta put on your mask because COVID will be coming for you. So you gotta be vigilant. No
Oh,
Yeah,
logic, all right?
I just think we should make everything consistent. So like, I don't know.
no, it's
Let
just like
people have the choice at least.
it's not natural for a human body. And yeah, I guess you could say, well, we haven't had to do this at any other point in our life, so that's why everyone's forgetting. But it's not like a normal, natural thing to just wake up as a human. And I guess it's my 2 cents, but it's not natural to just wake up and strap something on your face. It never
All
has
right.
been, as far as we know, unless maybe some time frame
I,
in history that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
So I do think that there will be a day when it,
your bonnet plate.
yeah, I do think there will be a point where you don't have to do it anymore, but it'll also be the next time, and this is during our lifespan. Who knows, again, 100, 500,000 years from now, what it'll be like. But in our lifespan, I think it's just going to get to a point where kind of like the government says, okay, everyone put it on, and people won't be like as resistant the fifth time they tell you, yo, put it on. This is the first time. So that's why even Ray, that's why you and I are feeling the way we feel, is because we're like, we're being, God bless us, we're being rebels. Like, so I do think that is this, as for example, the kids like going to school right now, growing up, going to school for the first time, to them, this is becoming normal for them. So when they become our age or 50 and their administration says, hey, put this on, they're not even going to like flinch at it. So it's kind of like, how do you stop it? How do you change it? What's the right answer? I don't know, but I definitely am enjoying talking about it. At the same time, I keep trying to like not get too political on this talk, and then we keep going this way.
One of the biggest things that I've learned over this time is how much power the government has over people and how much trust people put on their governments. Like to me, I've come to realize that I don't want to be a part of this. Like I'm not a big fan of this society, whether it's Belize, the US, like I'm not a big fan of these power structures that control people in whatever way they want. And I've been thinking recently and speaking to my friends and stuff, like it feels up to me like the dream, like my life dream, like a lot of people have like life dreams, like yeah, I want to become a millionaire, I want to own houses, I want to have a mansion, blah blah. Like it was up to me, like I'm pretty set in this now, like my life dream would to have my own community, like far away apart from society as we know it, my own community with our own laws and regulations, not free like free to do whatever you want and free to do craziness and crazy stuff, like but I'd like to have my own community where I'd have like where I have like my own sovereignty you know, being
Put
independent. I do
Lieberland
think that
in the chat, Nady. I'll make sure I save you a condo there one day.
right. I mean, like that, like Liberland, but I'd like it to be like exclusive, like with certain laws and regulations. Not anyone could be there because ultimately, bro, even though this may sound, I'm not sure if it sounds selfish, but ultimately, if you don't share the values that you wouldn't be welcome there because it'll be. I'd like for it to be like a different, just for it to be independent. You know, like you have your own laws and regulations instead of having like a state mandate or the government mandate or you got to do this. You got to like no, like
Yeah.
you got to live your freedom. So that's kind of like my life dream. That I have.
Authority, yeah, the authority is at the local level, which is really how it truly should be. Again, in my opinion, you dissolve all borders and you just put control down to the local jurisdiction. That's who's most in tune with the community. Like, there's no
Yeah.
reason one person should be in charge of 300 million people. If anyone does want to point fingers and say why things are so messed up anywhere in the world, once you have someone in control of more than 1 million people, it's not an ideal model.
Of
It breaks
course.
it. So yeah, control at the local levels is definitely something that
Absolutely.
gets underestimated. And I think at one point in time, I'd say definitely in the US too, at one point in time, it actually was much more local. And I think now we see, for example,
Of
when
course.
we had the military deployed across the US, for as far as I know, to that extent, that seemed like one of the first times where it was like, it wasn't just police in the streets, it was like military in every major city. Once you start, that's like employing the federal police. It's not local, it's not state
Right.
level. You're sending in the federal, you're sending in the stormtroopers. They could care less about Painesville compared to a Painesville city cop, and that goes a very long way. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
all right, when are we
But,
cutting this?
We can cut it
yeah.
short soon.
We're doing the Spotify listening session here soon. If anyone tuned in right now wants to join our Spotify group session, send me, Nadir, or Ray a direct message, and we'll get you in on it. But we're gonna rock out to some tunes. And I'm looking at the score right now. Kansas City is smacking them. Dang. Okay.
That's dope.
Yes, looking good for Buffalo.
But yeah,
Not
man.
looking.
I Yeah, I guess we've been going on for a little bit of a while now. So
It's
I'm
funny
not sure
when
if you
Nadir and I
guys
first hit record, we said we are gonna go for a half hour, and here we go.
Yeah, we'll
How
have
long
to
is
do it
it?
again soon and have a more exclusive talk or set some topics.
We could, but I mean,
Yeah.
without having any
It's better to
plan,
feel into it.
we've been hitting some major
I think
topics.
no topic is kind of good. Because with no topics, like you're just kind of like flowing in the moment. Well, if you have topics, like you'll try to prepare. And a lot of times when you prepare, well, at least for me, like if I try to prepare, I'll try to focus on a few topics. And if conversation arises over something different, I'll be kind of like just scrambling over a place trying to think about it.
Well, I
But
think
it's
it's
been
good to
dope.
have it's good to have like a group of people that are like so free minded and just can have a conversation without like arguing with each other and trying to like my point's
I
better
mean,
than yours. It's just like it's just crazy.
ultimately, that's what man. I think ultimately, like if we could have all differing opinions and beliefs, but even we don't. I don't think we really need to convince each other. But I think it's just important for everybody to voice their beliefs, their opinions, and I think it's also important for other people to listen and probably find things you could relate or not
Yeah.
necessarily change your mind. Like yeah, like I see what you're saying. Right? Like simple as I still don't understand what you're saying, but I respect it and I'll try to see, and or probably it'll happen
Yeah.
some other time.
Yeah, it's
It's good
unfortunate
to
when
hear
you
different perspectives because you learn.
yeah, for sure. Sucks when you have somebody who's just very attacking and doesn't listen to you. They're already ready
Or
to talk whether they hear what you're saying and just like listen to what I'm saying and then respond.
if they're always ready to say something, that means you're never listening. Because
Right.
like if you're saying something devout, they like they would barely get like a few little. They'll pick up a few lines and they'll be trying to
Yeah.
justify or they'll be trying to counterattack these few lines that they put out of your entire conversation. I've seen that a lot online and even here, so
I
interesting.
think listening is one of the biggest skills you can have, most important skills you can have, for sure.
Yeah, I'm tagging you
Absolutely.
guys.
How
Yeah.
important like listening
Tagging
is
you
for
boys
sure.
on the gram right now. I took a picture of you when you weren't
Nice.
looking.
Yo, you know what's kind of thing that I've never really been like this type of person to like come alive or online or just share my ideas or just have these live conversations with people. And I don't know, like something is changing. I don't know what it is, like honestly, I'm just like more confident with myself. Like
Yeah.
I don't really care as much as I did before. Like I'm just open, I'm just speaking, I'm just saying how I feel or what I think. I may be wrong. I'm okay if I'm wrong. I may be
Yeah.
lost. I'm okay if I'm lost. But
You're finding
it's
your
just
voice.
sharing these ideas or just having these conversations. Cool. What's that?
So you're finding your voice.
Oh, I think Adam said
In it,
something.
in it, uh, yeah,
I
Yeah.
that's
guess.
both of you guys. I mean, this is like, do you know how much of a victory it is for the average person, like what you guys are doing right now, and like just being here live? You're putting yourself on a wide open platter for everyone to say exactly what the heck they think about you, and you can't defend yourself. Like you are
Right.
putting yourself up to
Absolutely.
be
I know a lot of
criticized.
people could be
Yeah.
absolutely. A lot of people
And
could
once you
just be
can
listening.
break beyond that, once you break past that,
Right.
sorry, it looks like a little disconnected, but yeah, I hear you.
Uh, just interesting because
Potential
like
is
a lot of them
unlimited. Yeah.
absolutely. And I think it's cool, man. It's cool when people are able to criticize you because like if you've been on some bullshit, right? People criticize you and they'll be like, yo, like Nadir like garbage. And then if you see those critics and you see what people think, you kind of question yourself, yo, are they right? I think they may be right. I may be talking a lot of crap. You know what? Let me look into this. Let me do more research. Whether I'm talking about whatever, I may have been stating the facts all wrong. I could be, you know what? They're right. I'm wrong.
I can't remember where I
Like you
heard
learn a
this.
lot.
I can't remember where I heard this, but I heard it recently. I was like, that is brilliant. Is if somebody has an opinion on you, even if it's a negative opinion, if they think a certain way about you, then you are taking up real estate in their mind, whether they love you or hate you.
Yeah. That's
Therefore, you matter more to them than even if they play it down like they don't care about you or they hate you. You are taking up space in their mind. So keep that in mind if anyone ever does hate on you.
negative.
Space in someone's mind
Absolutely.
and to not even be there.
Yeah, they're wasting their own time on you, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if to put it that way, but Shelby cracked me up.
I wouldn't say I would say they're just taking real estate in their mind, and it's kind of like a good thing. I mean, you're right, Ray. Like whether they're wasting their time or not, they have some sort of interest in you
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
it kind of becomes personal. It's like they don't care anymore. Like they're not indifferent to you. They're not like, oh, whatever he says, I don't care. It's more
Because
like
time is the only like
I like
limited, like time is the one of the
that's a what
main.
currency.
So yeah, time is the key currency. So whether you're loving or hating someone, you're spending your currency on making that choice. So if you're spending time to hate on someone, then you are
Absolutely.
investing the only resource you truly have in that person, even if you're, and I'm guilty of it. Like, hey, I'm not saying coming out here saying I'm never hating on anyone. I'm probably gonna end up hating on like, some people before I go to bed with, without realizing it. But that's just, that's the reality.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I've hated people, I guess. But I try not to. I try not to get caught up in that. Like I try to invest my time, whether into loving or just appreciating people or whatever. Like. But it's interesting. It's interesting. It's kind of wild. So we've been here for quite a while, right? It's been like over an hour.
Yeah. How do we close this out? Ray, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I mean, thanks for having me on the show. The next level pop up. We definitely got to do these more. Um, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's fun to just kind of get your thoughts out there and just talk about things and see what other people think too. And just connect on that level of energy too. So it's good to be here with you boys, and wish we all could get together
Yeah.
soon. And I can't wait for the day that we can all get together again and hang out somewhere, wherever that's going to be. I don't know. Hopefully Belize or some other country. Who knows? But yeah, I'm grateful that you guys are in my life, and it's crazy how long we've known. Nadir, I was just thinking about it today. I was watching some of the YouTube Belize videos. I'm looking at it, it's like 2013, 2014. It's freaking almost 8 years ago. It's like, holy smokes, where does time go? But
Wow.
I was just like, dang,
Yeah,
that's
bro.
7 years ago. We were in Belize. It's just like, wow, almost 10 years, coming up on 10 years.
Bro. Like,
But
and it
yeah,
feels like
we've
it
had
was
some good
just
times
yesterday,
together.
like we were kind of like wilding out a lot of
Yeah.
dope experiences.
Cool to see how everybody's grown over the time too. We were just kind of young kids being reckless, didn't care really about anything. And now everybody's kind of doing their own thing. So it's cool to
Right.
see.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm looking back on those Belizean days. I
Still kind
mean,
of
it's reckless, but man, I think for where we were at, we're pretty solid. Nadir, Poppy made a crazy observation today. Can't believe I didn't catch this before. And again, we'll talk about this another time. But he's like, "Yo, I just realized not one person in Todd Squad has a tattoo. That's pretty wild. Like in this,
huh.
like not one. And I don't know how many people. I mean, I guess we got a few floaters in the group, Ray, but I mean, our friend group is at least 12 to 15 deep and not one. And not to say that that's right, again, that that's right or wrong, but it's crazy. And I know personally speaking, like my main reason why I don't
Bro.
have one is just like I feel like it became too mainstream. I think once upon a time it used to be cool. If you want to be different, you get one. But everywhere I'm looking, everyone's got one. I'm like, you be different by not getting it now. So to
Yeah,
hear
that's
that
how
our
I
whole
do low key. Just
Mm.
like I don't
it's
even
not
want.
like we made a rule either. Like, oh, if you want to be in our friend group, this is it. It's
Yeah,
just
literally nobody has one.
that
Crazy.
was pretty cool.
Bro, I would get some tattoos. Or I would get a couple of tattoos, but just from one tattoo artist, and she lives in Cleveland. So I'm not getting a tattoo anywhere else.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, whenever
We'll
I
keep
ever
you.
get to Cleveland, I'll get some tattoos, guaranteed.
So you can
Maybe
be the
if you had to say one thing, what's your favorite thing in Cleveland that you experienced like when you were here? If you had to
Hmm.
say one thing that like blew your mind about Cleveland, you're just like, whoa, this is cool.
I mean, I think there's a couple of things, but like one thing, the number one thing.
that's tough.
Hmm.
We got to close it out on this one. Ray's getting ready to go down the rabbit hole.
I think probably one of the things that really stuck out to me in Cleveland was hmm, honestly probably like the history being an industrial having an industrial history, but also the weather. Like truthfully, coming from Belize, well, honestly I can't really see the weather because it wasn't really cool all the times I was up there. Like it was
Yeah,
cold, not cool. Like
right.
DC, I experienced some really nice, cool days in DC that I enjoyed. But
Mm,
Cleveland, I mean, the snow was fun. I can't lie, but hmm, honestly, I don't know. Honestly, that one thing I would say about Cleveland is just kind of like the energy of the city itself, and not being like a super big city or a little city, just kind of like a medium-sized city,
mm,
and just how people. I just kind of how people connected in the city, and it's kind of hard to explain, but I saw like at some of the basketball games and some of the baseball games, just how people really rocked with each other. Like people from all
yeah,
walks of life. That's kind of what I like. Like all for the tribe or the land, you know, like that was kind of cool. And it was
Yeah,
interesting because everybody was riding high and yeah, everybody was like in sync with one another. But you know,
yeah. It's
pretty
crazy how
cool.
sports can bring people
So,
together like that. Pretty cool.
All
definitely.
right, boys. Well, shout out to Cleveland.
However, I won't
I
lie.
have to say that. Sorry, what was that, Nadir? Oh, taking off. Yeah,
Oh no,
yeah.
no, no. I mean, just
We got the delays getting us.
shout out to Cleveland. All right,
Oh,
boys. You guys have a good one.
yeah. I'll talk to you boys. Well, actually, why don't we I'll stop the live stream and then we can keep going here for a little bit. But I guess that's my last 2 cents to validate what Ray's saying about Cleveland. I mean, one of the main reasons why
Yeah.
I found it so enjoyable to live here and move here is because it kind of feels like home away from home. Sorry for all my Clevelanders that are listening and watching. I don't really have much desire to come back to Cleveland, at least anytime soon. I have found Newfoundland to be enjoyable because it's a very similar, nice community and nice people, similar to Ohio and to Cleveland. So
Nice.
shout out to CLE. Nice hat, Ray. I'm going to stop the stream here, boys. Thank you for investing your most valuable resource with our listeners on this next level pop-up, your time. And we'll catch you in the next pop-up.
Skr, skr.